I think he was sitting behind it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I want to make sure you have safety glasses and with some hearing protection if we're using some really loud tools. I think we should just get started on the base first. I'm going to cut 2 sheets of plywood, 2 at the same time. That'll save us some time. You think 3 feet high will be good enough?
Okay. Yeah.
Now they need to cut a 36-inch piece of plywood for the front of their stand.
The first thing I want to do is measure the distance from my blade to this edge against this guide, and that's about 5 inches. Measure over and put a mark at 31 inches, which is 36 less 5. And when we make the cut, and it'll be perfectly straight.
Oh, I get it. They have to make a mark at 31 inches because the saw adds 5 inches. Now they need to cut that second piece in half to make the 2 sides.
So what's this right here?
That's our cooler for the lemonade.
Okay, and how big is that going to be?
We weren't sure if we were going to use a cardboard box or like a wood container, and then we're going to fill the box with insulation.
Well, let's see. I talked about making the countertop about 18 inches, so that's going to be plenty for this box.
Yeah, that'll be perfect.
Put it on your mark.
Now they're cutting the counter.
We've
got our
got
pieces over here.
We've got the front, and now we've got the counter.
What do you think would be the best thing we could use to help things fold?
Hinges.
Hinges, like a door, right? Now, this is the front of the lemonade stand, and I want to have the top fold to the inside. So if I screw a hinge to the inside and screw a hinge to the top, it can fold down. Now, there's an old carpenter's rule that says measure twice, cut once. But I have another rule, which is don't measure unless you have to. So if I hold this flush and mark right up against this piece of plywood, we know it's going to be right.
So instead of measuring with a tape measure, they mark it against the wood they just cut. Goggles, goggles there.
I like to use screws instead of nails because screws hold a lot better.
Rough. Norm makes it look really easy.
Well, that's a professional for you. They make the hard stuff look easy. Like this show, for example. Very difficult. Piece of cake when I run it, just not today.
But when you put hinges on, you have to be really accurate with where you drill. Now, you want to drill that straight up and down.
Hey, these kids are good with power tools.
Okay, we've got the front connected to the top. Okay, back. So now, if we try out the whole system, this comes around, okay, and now the whole thing folds down.
Oh, very ingenious.
It's a little awkward, you know what I mean? I think maybe we should try something else for transportation. Not wheels. We could try and stick some, like, handles or something to carry it with.
All right, good idea.
Hey, the handles are a great idea. You want to be able to carry this thing, but it still looks a little heavy.
We don't want the handle too high because then you're going to have to hold it with your entire arm. You really want to just be able to bend over, and when you stand up straight, it's going to lift it. So let's see how each of you looks in terms of the length of your arm. Okay, about 28 inches. So this is where your hand is going to be. If we lower it down a little bit, I think you ought to walk in the same direction. Oh, you'll be going in circles.
Look at Norm. I like the yucks, Norm. I like the yucks.
Okay. Let's flip this over.
Look at
Put
that.
it in. And voila.
What do you think?
That is sweet.
Time to make the sign, guys.
And you can paint lemonade on it or whatever you want. And then get the bottom end of it right in the top of that block.
Oh, the piping fits nicely right in there.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, huh?
Looks good. Yeah.
I think we're all done.
Yeah.
All right, we are back in Studio G
Yeah.
with Julia, Brian, Taylor, and Khalil. Well,